So recently, a lot of people have been asking me, yo, Nick, what's your Warzone settings? Is it the same as multiplayer? What do you use for it? Well, guys, basically, I'm going to tell you guys these are the best settings that you need to use in Warzone, and some of them are going to be some settings that you had no idea worked the way they worked, and I'm going to go into these. Now, I'm going to also preface that I am using a PlayStation 5 controller, so if you guys are using something similar, or if you're playing on a controller in general, these might help you a lot. Now, there's also a few settings in here that are for default controllers without back paddles, and you guys can skip that. I'll mention it once I get to that part, so I don't have to waste your guys' time. All right, so let's get into it. Let's get into some of my favorite sweaty settings, and yeah, let's go see. So first off, I'm gonna go into controller, graphic, audio, and interface today. There's a few things in here that are pretty important, and I want to talk about all those right there. So we're gonna go into the interface right away and kind of get it out of the way. All right. On the interface, you're going to go to readability, then you're going to go down to color customization. Doesn't seem like it should be worth it or anything, but trust me guys, it's really nice. You're going to set color filter 2, not 1, not none, not 3. You're going to set it to 2, and the reason you're going to do that is because it's going to make every, like the reds, the greens, the blues, all of those colors, the RGBs, it's going to make them pop, alright? They're going to look nice, they're going to look good, and this is really good. So if you see enemies at long distance or whatever, and they're wearing these colors, they're going to stand out, and they're not going to blend into like the background and stuff. So do that for sure. And then after that, that's basically it. I mean, I would put the world intensity up to 100, and then the interface, which is like the menu and stuff, you can set it to whatever you want. If you want it to be a little more see-through, so that when you open up your settings in game, you can see more of the game, you can do that as well. But anyways, yeah, just leave that right there. That's pretty good. Now we're gonna go over to the gameplay HUD, and there's gonna be a few things I recommend here, right? So mini-map rotation on, obviously. If you are playing this game and you don't see buildings on the map or anything like that, you don't see anything, you just see arrows and stuff, turn radar off, right? If you accidentally have that on, it's gonna mess up a lot. Mini-map shape, we're gonna set that to square, and then after this, we're gonna go down. There's just a few more things here that are a little important, but not too important as well, all right? So the crosshair, this, like I said, you could like it, you might not like it, but setting a center dot on is going to help you guys out tremendously. With the center dot and the crosshairs, it's going to be so easy to track enemies and start shooting towards them before you even begin ADSing. So make sure you guys are doing that right there, and you want it set to the largest, and you want it to either be on yellow or purple, all right? Those are the two colors you're going to go for. Don't keep it on white, don't keep it on none of that. Yellow or purple are pretty good. All right, so we're done with the interface. That's basically it right there, and we're going to go into the audio afterwards, but before we go into controller, let's go into graphics, because there is some things in here, oddly enough, that will help you guys win gunfights, and then we'll go over to controller and then audio. All right, so in the graphics right here, we're going to go over to the quality. Now I'm playing on 1440p. It doesn't really matter what you play on, and I also play on my texture resolution low. I put a lot of stuff on low. All right, the reason I do that is because I just don't want this game to be like, I just want more frames, if that makes more sense. All right, like that's all I'm going for. I mean, it is what it is. But in the view tab here, I play on a 105 field of view, especially on Warzone. I will not go higher than a 105 on Warzone, because I feel like if I go all the way out to like 1.20 or 120, I should say, or something, when I get into gunfights that are just 100 meters away, sure, there's a lot of less visual recoil when I'm shooting and stuff, but it's a lot harder to also aim my crosshairs at those enemies. So playing at a 105 is nice. The enemies don't seem like they're too far or anything, and it's still wide enough that I feel fast moving around the map. After that, ADS field of view, I set it to independent. Always on Warzone, I'm going to set it to independent. Sometimes on multiplayer, I'll put it to effective if I just want to feel like nice and stuff and have a wider field of view when aiming down sights. But having this at independent and stuff is going to help you out a lot. In Warzone, a lot of gunfights happen, I would say 25 meters and out. Sometimes you're in gunfights up close, sure, but a lot of them happen 25 meters out. So having independent, it's going to zoom in that screen when you aim down sights, and you're going to be able to see the enemies a lot bigger, a lot closer than you should. So just have that right there. It's nice. Some people don't like it because it looks weird and stuff, but I like it, man. I mean, you got to get used to it, right? And then weapon field of view, set it to wide. Setting this to wide is going to make the weapon look smaller. And you might think that's not important, but when the weapon looks smaller, you could see more of your screen. More of your screen is visible, meaning you could see a lot more of the map. So if there are people hiding anywhere and stuff, you could definitely go ahead and abuse this right here. So make sure you guys are doing that right there. After that, world motion blur off, weapon motion blur off, and camera shake to the absolute least. Now, before we get into the controller settings, guys, if you're enjoying this video, make sure to drop a big fat like, subscribe to the channel, those notifications turned on, and make sure that you guys leave a comment down below letting me know your field of view. I want to know if maybe I'm just dumb, right? Maybe I'm the only one playing out 105, everyone's playing out 120, but let me know what you guys play on for field of view down in the comments below. All right, right here, the reason I'm on the movement tab first before the controller tab or the aiming tab or anything like that is because this makes a lot of sense. if you are playing on a default controller. Now, I'm gonna warn you guys, it's going to take time to get used to playing on this right here, and I'm about to tell you guys. But once you get used to it, it's going to be a game changer. You're going to have faster movement, you're going to be quicker in the game, everything's going to be nicer, you're going to be able to drop shots, jump shots, do whatever type of shooting you want without removing your thumbs from either joystick, and you still will be able to sprint and all that kind of stuff. So trust me guys, this is nice. We're going to go to sprint assist, and we're going to go ahead and put on tactical sprint assist, right? This is nice. This is good, because now when you push up on your left joystick, you don't have to press it or anything. You just got to move it upwards. You're going to start tactical sprinting, but not right away. It has to kick in first, and you guys will see what I mean about that in a second, right? So you could still walk in this game. Don't worry about it, but tactical sprint is actually really nice. And then I want to go into my class after the settings just to show you guys a lot of perks that I use in this to actually help you out a lot better and stuff, just with movement. And then yeah, your sprint assist delay, you could turn this up or something to like 100, 150, whatever. I believe these are milliseconds or anything. 700 milliseconds is 7 seconds, so you'll walk for like 7 seconds and then sprint after. I find that useless. All right, don't do that, don't do that. So yeah, that's basically it. Tactical sprint assist. And now we can go over to controller here, and for the button layout, I'm going to recommend customizing it and make sure that you guys jump and all that kind of stuff pressing down on R3, and then you could drop shots pressing down on L3, and you slide and all that with L3. All right, so the reason we had to put tactical sprint assist on is because with a controller you press L3 downwards to sprint. That's just how it is. Now we're using it for drop shotting so that we do not have to remove our thumbs from either joystick. So doing this right here is going to actually mean that now you need to sprint automatically without pressing down on L3, so that you don't have to remove your thumbs and press like circle to sprint or something, right? I hope that makes sense. I hope you guys are understanding what I mean right there. Then jump shotting, R3, the most important one, you do not ever want to take your thumb off that. R3 is now for jump shotting and all that kind of stuff. You can switch it up if you want. If you wanted to drop shot, you can do that instead. It doesn't really matter. These two don't really matter. I just feel like it's more comfortable for me to do that right there. After that, fire weapon, R1, aim down sights, L1 rather than L2 and R2. Again, this is personal preference. On a PlayStation controller, it feels very comfortable to shoot with L1 and R1. The buttons have less of an action, I guess you could say, or of a dead zone or whatever. You just press them, and the second you touch it, it activates in game, whereas L2 and R2, you got to push them downwards a lot more. I hope I'm making sense here. I don't know, I'm really bad at explaining that part, but it is what it is. And then lethal and tactical is going to be L2 and R2. Obviously, if I swap these ones, it's going to swap these ones as well. I like that right there. And then sprint, and it's going to be circle like I told you guys, and melee is going to be X, which is not bad. Melee being X is not too bad. You just got to slide your thumb a little bit. You can even keep your thumb on your joystick while pressing it. It is what it is. Now that's what I like right there. Horizontal and vertical stick sensitivity, I play at 1.80 for horizontal and 1.85 for vertical. I like that. That's just preference. You can set it to whatever you guys like. You don't have to copy me on that one. And then controller vibration off 100% of the time. Trigger effect off 100%. You don't want haptics. You don't want feedback when shooting. Feedback that's going to be harder to push down and stuff. Don't do that, right? Dead zone inputs, left stick minimum, set it to wherever you don't have stick drift. If you could put this to 0, put it to 0. If you have stick drift, meaning that if you just put your controller down and your character automatically moves straight or to left or whatever in game, that means you got stick drift. Don't set it to 0. Set it to whatever you can set it at where your character will stop moving. It might be 6, it might be 7. You got to test it out. Then left stick max, I did bring it up to 50. I feel like in Warzone, just having that little extra amount of space that I can move my joystick is just kind of nice. Right stick minimum, you want to keep this down to like 5 or 15. No higher than 15, no lower than 5. The reason you don't want to go lower than 5, and a lot of settings videos are going to tell you, oh, you want to drop that down to 0. Don't do that, all right? If you drop this down to 0, you are not going to have a strong aim assist. I've tested it many times, over and over again, probably 100 times by now. Once you set this to actual 5, your rotational aim assist also kicks in. If you move, if you do little micro movements with your right thumb, it's not gonna make any changes in game and stuff like that. But if you set it down to 0, and let's say someone's moving left on your screen, but your thumb twitches just a millimeter to the right, it's going to mess up the aim assist. So make sure you guys set it to like 5. I like it at 8. It's actually really nice, and I feel like my accuracy, my aim assist is very, very sticky. That's probably going to piss off a lot of computer players, but it is what it is. And then right stick max up to 100, and then triggers down to 0. Default is 13. Why would you want dead zones on your, or like whatever it's called, on your triggers? That's just weird, all right? Anyways, aiming, basically same as multiplayer, don't really change much here. Aiming advanced settings, I'm playing on a gradual. Gradual's the best in my opinion, unless you are insane at aiming at people, gradual is really, really nice. Aim response, curve type, linear, dynamic, standard. There's not much of a difference. There is a little slight difference, I'll be honest with you guys, but there's not much. So just play whatever you're comfortable at. And then I'm playing it at 0.95. And then custom sensitivity per zoom, I'm playing at 90 for 0 all the way up to 3, and then 1 all the way up to high zoom. From 4 all the way to high zoom, I should say, right there. I play at a 1. So that's gonna be that right there. We'll go into the audio, and then I'll go into my class to show you guys something, all right? So in the audio, voice chat volume 100%, all right? Multiplayer, I dropped this down to 50. On Warzone, I want to hear my teammates call outs. There's also a lot of dead time, so you're just running around and stuff. It's fun to talk. It's fun to do whatever you got to do, all right? Microphone level, 100. And I got push to talk on right now just for the moment. And then in audio here, master volume, I got the gameplay down to 44. The dialogue and effects, this is gunshots, characters, in-game talking, footsteps, all that kind of stuff. You want that up at 100, and then cinematic, like the end game and stuff, down to 50 as well. You don't really need that too high, but that's gonna be that right there. Let's go into my actual class right now, because I want to show you guys just the perks that I'm using, as you guys can see. So Mountaineer, I like going up, I like jumping down. I don't always want to pull out my chute, because there's just no point in pulling it out every single time. Sometimes there's an enemy down there, you just want to jump down and continue shooting at him. You don't want to have to pull out your parachute, let him shoot you, and then take it off. Like, it just doesn't make sense. So the Mountaineer is really, really nice, comes in clutch. But then Sprinter is really good as well. And if you switch to your knife when running, for some, what the heck was that? New playlist update. All right, whatever. Anyway, Sprinter, you guys saw that. If you switch it, if you're using that and you switch to your knife and you're just moving up on that left stick, it's just so nice. All right, so I'm gonna recommend that right there. And then after that, I got tempered on, because yeah, you want to have that for sure. Now, in case you guys are interested in my classes, I got the Kilo. I might not be using the meta class. We got the Willis 3x scope, compensator, reinforced barrel, extended mag 2, and recoil springs. And then after that, I got this gun, which is my favorite, the PP91, or the 19199. I forget. Hold up, let me open it up. It's 1911, is it? I don't even know. Hold on, 919. I am dumb. All right, so there it is right there. Here's the attachments. I got porta compensator, reinforced barrel, fast mag 1, commando grip, and recoil springs. This class might not be the meta, but I love it. This thing is so good. Even at long range, this gun competes against ARs, smoke grenade, thermite, and yeah, that's basically it. So that's it for the video. If you guys did enjoy the settings and that little bonus class setup right there, make sure to drop a big fat like, subscribe to the channel with those notifications turned on. Thank you guys for watching. My name is Nick, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.